Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. As you read in the title, here is the C block. We'll be doing a couple shots in this one. Let's open it up and you can see, quite interesting. From one half of the C block, you can see that it has this little pathway that it shoots through, blocked through by this plate. And with this plate is the other half of it where it blocks through. Creates like almost like a Y or like a fork shape, and as it blends in with the two colors, it kind of mixes and matches in a different path. I think the way that Josh has built this one kind of gives it that swirl mixed look, which is really nice. And there's been a lot of discussions back and forth on how this works, if it works, how good does it work, etc. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna really kind of dive into a little bit more details of it and see how it works. I don't use it very often, but I know there's been a lot of questions lately on this one and people like seeing it, so we'll get going on it. This mold we're going to be using today is from Angling AI. It's going to be a 3 1/4 inch stinger mold. I picked this one just because you can see the flat body. I think it will really give it that look or a better view of what we're going to be trying to accomplish with this one. Also, the colors we're going to be using is something quite brighter, but something a little bit natural looking. And we're going to be using a second mold as well. The second mold we got is, as you can see, bright and shiny, brand new from Hog Salad. This is the 3.8 inch Ghillie mold. Never used it, never shot it, so it'll be interesting on how this turns out. But my thoughts were wide body would give it a very good view. Give us a very nice overview of what it will look like, and maybe show off how the C block blending works on something larger and flat surface. We'll be trying different angles on this, so we'll do like a 90 degree, turn it another maybe 45 or so, and then hit it to another 90 degree. And then as well with the Hog Salad mold, we'll do like start 90 degree, we'll start another like 45 and do a complete 180. The two colors we're using today is black and chartreuse from Deadon Plastix. I was thinking, you know, what would be a nice color that would give it that really good contrast from showing the details of what the C block can do. And with the plastisol we're using today, it's from Deadon Plastix as well. We're going to be using the swim bait jerkbait blend sinking. Within the black, we do about 20 drops of black just to make it really dark, give it that opaque look, so that way something with the transparency, if it's too transparent, you know, you won't be able to see it. The chartreuse gives that transparency, so this is where we go pretty crazy with it. Put in about 70 drops. It's trying to really darken it up. Man, it looks really cool when you see it with that clear plastisol and how those drops going. But anyways, the chartreuse colors and the brighter colors like that are very transparent, so to really tweak it, you got to put a lot into it, right? You can see as we lift up our mixing spoon or mixing knife, it's very transparent. So what I'll do is I'll add in some ultra white from LureWorks. This is just a couple of drops, about 5 to 6, and what that will do is kind of give it a little bit darker, like opaque look, but it still keeps the brightness from the chartreuse. As well as our temperature, we're going to be doing around 325, 323. You can see when you hit the top of the plastisol, it gets a higher temperature. So what I did is I let it sit for about 30 seconds before I injected. And we want to keep these really low on the cooler temperature, right? 320s, you know, 300s even, just because if you have it too hot when you shoot these, the blending will actually change the color and they blend in too much. So if you shoot it a little bit colder, it will definitely give you a more swirl, more colored action, and we'll see that here. So let's open this up. Again, the 3.25 inch stinger. Very nice mold by Angling AI, so definitely recommend one if you haven't picked one up or used it. Very good bait to throw. Caught plenty of fish using this mold. So there's the black and chartreuse. Awesome looking style that these came out with. Let's get a closer look, and with the closer look, you can see that the black and the chartreuse blended, right? So it keeps that, it gives you almost, instead of a chartreuse look, you get like a green mix. However, it's a crazy looking swirl. Didn't have to do that milking the cow technique. Didn't have to, use a double injector and, one at a time, pumping back and forth. So this one kind of just does the work for you. It's very random. The tails look really awesome. You got one that's kind of darker, one's a little bit lighter. Now let's check the belly side of this though, and see if the same thing happens. You can see that the chartreuse really comes out more on this belly side, but there's also some black swirls in that. So again, shooting these cold is the key. Just like anytime you do a laminate, if you do it too hot, they're gonna blend and bleed over into each other a little bit more, where you won't get the kind of definition of the lining that you're looking for. Let's try this again. We're gonna be shooting this time at a different angle. We're gonna go 90 degrees straight on and see if we can get a different look. Again, the temperature, shooting cold. Everything's feeling good as we shoot. Temperature was around 325 on this one. And I'll be curious to see how this one turns out compared to the first shot. So we'll do a comparison. For anyone curious and want to see how the blending block looks for the C block, we'll open this up and give it a look. All right, so we ripped off the one side. That's where the chartreuse was coming from. So it makes that Y, again, that fork looking shape. And then when we remove the plate from the other side, that would have the black color. But as it blends and bleeds together, you can see it kind of builds that green color. So always take that in consideration, right? The colors you mix together could make almost a third color for you. So kind of think about what that color makes, like red and blue makes purple, etc. White and red makes pink. So this one we did two different angles, but let's open it up. This time we're doing it from a 90 degree straight on with the mold. As we crack this open, we can see with the color temperature, that chartreuse really pops. And keep in mind, as your bait cures in the next couple of days, it'll also brightens up. But man, that tail with that chartreuse looks amazing. The way that it bleeds and it blends into each other. You can see these come out a little bit darker on the top, but let's check out and see what it looks like on the bottom as well. So with a closer look, yep, it looks like the black was a little bit overpowering, but we got some chartreuse in there that kind of gives it that mix. Really cool, really awesome. I haven't tried anything like in a jerk bait, a worm, another creature. So keep in mind, probably the more of a body you have to work with, the more of a swirl, more pattern you get, that might look a little bit better. But maybe in the future we'll do one as well in like a stick bait, right? We'll try the stick baits, or we'll try like some worms, something with smaller bodies, flukes, etc. But here's the comparison. You can see on the left side there are the second, there's the back side, and the ones in the right hand are the ones that were shot first. Pretty similar, but the chartreuse looks really cool. I think it came out really nice. And from this time, we're going to be doing the injection on the hog salad mold. We'll start the blending block at a parallel angle. We're going to try it that way. And then on the next injection port, we're going to flip it about 45 degrees. And then we'll flip it another 45, which give us a 90. And then we'll flip it a full 90 to give us that 180. So here's that 45. Everything's shooting quite nicely. And then we're going to flip it a 90. Give it an injection. Give me a second. I got to run around the camera just so I can get a better angle. And we're going to flip this 180 right here. Again, key to this one is shooting it cold, because that way you can get that fine definition. Everything seems to be filling in pretty nicely. Have any of you used the hog salad mold before? Because this is the first time I'm using it, and I'm quite impressed. It's really nice. I like the round edges of the mold. Of course, the machine looks really nice. Even the outside here, where it gives you the details of, the belly, the backside, which way to shoot. It definitely helps. Gives you a really good, nice clarity on what you're doing, so you're not confused on, hey, is this the top, belly, back, etc. But let me know. All right, let's crack this thing open. Let's see if I can get it to come out on the right side. To show, looks like, oh, nothing shot. Nah, just kidding. All right. Wow. Crazy. All right. So you can see with the wide body, gives you a little more plastic. We can really see that C block do its thing. These look insane. Closer look, you can see the chartreuse, that black bleeding, blending. Absolutely insane. Phenomenal mold too. Man, these things shoot really nice, really easy. Let's take one out. Let's check the backside. Again, a nice mixed swirl pattern. This is the side I believe we shot at a 90 perpendicular to each other. And then as we rotate, we'll get a different blending style. So we should see a little bit different pattern to them. This one was shot at a 45-degree angle. Yep, you can see it how it didn't match from like a top to the bottom, from like a left to right side of that gill. So definitely mixes it up. So definitely keep that in mind when using it, that hey, shooting it at different angles can give you a different pattern. This one we shot parallel, I believe. And again, gives you that crazy looking random pattern. Chartreuse really looks good on this. Man, it's very bright, very, very vibrant. And then this one we shot at a 180, right? So after doing everything, it came to the opposite side, 180 degrees. So it should look similar to the first, but still looks amazing, still random. What do you guys think, man? This is crazy. These look really good. Really impressed. I'll have to think of some other crazy color combinations to throw that really brighten up and give these contrast look. But I would definitely throw this. Probably will be throwing it this weekend. So let me know what you guys think. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you with any of those questions. If you want any, let me know. I'll try to swing some of your guys' way as well. As always, appreciate you watching. Have a nice day out there. Catch some big fish. And I'll see you again real soon. Take care.